Good evening, everyone. I'm Miriam Enejo on Ojukwu News Channel. This is a special breaking news report. In a stunning escalation overnight, the United States has launched direct airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. The world is now on high alert as tensions in the Middle East reach a boiling point. Here's what we know. It is indeed confirmed. The U.S. military carried out coordinated strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities on Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan on June 21 to 22, 2025, using B-2 stealth bombers, massive ordnance penetrator bunker buster bombs, and Tomahawk cruise missiles. These are not ordinary facilities. Fordow and Natanz, in particular, are hardened, underground enrichment centers. And known as the heart of Iran's nuclear program. The U.S. deployed massive ordnance penetrators, bunker-busting bombs designed to pierce even the most fortified sites. Simultaneously, Tomahawk cruise missiles were launched from the Persian Gulf, targeting Esfahan's infrastructure and surrounding their defenses. Within minutes, explosions were reported across Iran, with satellite imagery showing significant damage to key structures. Initial unconfirmed reports suggest multiple casualties and critical damage to centrifuge systems. The exact extent of the damage is still being assessed. So why now? The U.S. administration under former President Donald Trump claims this was a preventive action. What it describes as Iran's imminent breakout toward a nuclear weapon. President Trump, in a press statement released just hours ago, said, and I quote, "The Iranian nuclear threat is over tonight. Our forces obliterated their enrichment capabilities. We will not allow the world's most dangerous regime to obtain the world's most dangerous weapons." However, this move comes at a time of rising regional conflict, especially between Israel and Iran, with tensions already at a breaking point after recent proxy clashes in Syria, Iraq, and the Red Sea.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying, "Death to America, death to Israel." They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Iran's leadership has condemned the strikes as a violation of international law, calling them an act of war. Iran's supreme leader issued a fiery response, stating that the United States would face everlasting consequences. Moments later, missile launches were reported from western Iran toward Israel, triggering air raid sirens across Tel Aviv, Haifa, and Beersheba. Tehran claims it will rebuild and continue its nuclear development, now with no remaining obligations to the international community. The international response has been swift and mixed. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session in New York just hours after the strike. Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned of catastrophic consequences if the conflict expands. World leaders are split, while Israel praised the action, calling it a turning point in regional security. European allies, including France and Germany, expressed concern over the legality and consequences of the strike. Russia and China strongly condemned the operation, calling it a dangerous escalation that undermines regional stability and international diplomacy. Markets have already reacted. Oil prices have surged past $120 a barrel, and global stock indices dipped sharply in early trading. Gold and other safe haven assets are rising, signaling growing investor anxiety. Back in Washington, the political divide is growing, while Republican leaders back the strikes as a bold stand against nuclear proliferation. Democratic lawmakers are questioning the lack of congressional authorization, reigniting the war powers debate. Many Americans are also asking, what comes next? Is this a limited operation, or the beginning of a wider war? So where do we go from here? Iran's retaliation could target U.S. troops, bases, or allies in Iraq, Syria, or the Gulf. The Strait of Hormuz, a key oil shipping route, could become a flashpoint, and the nuclear issue, while the sites were hit, Iran may now move its program even deeper underground or turn to third-party nations for aid. Meanwhile, calls for diplomacy are rising, but as of now, the U.S. has not indicated any desire to return to talks. We'll be following this story around the clock. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on this rapidly evolving situation. For now, stay safe, stay informed, and let's hope cooler heads prevail. I'm Miriam Enejo, and this has been your emergency report.